You drag yourself out of bed. You push through another day, and every day, at the end of the day, you collapse on the couch, completely drained. Everyone says it's work, but here's what they don't tell you. You're not tired from your job. You're tired from being everyone's backup plan. The responsible kid, the reliable friend, the one who always says yes. Somewhere along the way, that stopped being something you do. It became who you are. And that identity is what's killing you. Part 1, how you became everyone's safety net. Here's the thing about being the responsible one. Nobody asked if you wanted the job. It started small. You did your homework without being told. You cleaned up after your siblings. You remembered birthdays when everyone else forgot. And everyone loved it. You're so mature. We can always count on you. You're the strong one. But slowly, responsibility stopped being something you chose. It became something everyone expected. At work, you're not just doing your job. You're the backup for everything. Covering for late coworkers. Following up on projects that aren't yours. Staying late to make sure nothing falls apart. You became the person everyone comes to when they can't figure something out. But it doesn't stop at work. Part 2. The mental load that never stops. You ever feel like you're running a second shift at home? You're the one who remembers doctor's appointments, school events, when bills are due. Your brain never shuts off. It's running background programs 24/7, and with friends. You're basically the unpaid therapist, the one who gets the late night calls when everything in their life is falling apart. You listen, you give advice, you show up. But seriously, when's the last time someone asked how you were doing? Then there's money. There's always money. That sibling who borrows and never pays back. The relative who expects you to cover their rent because you helped once. So now it's just assumed you always will. And here's the part that really stings. You're carrying all of this while dealing with pressures your parents never had to think about. Student loans that feel like they'll never leave you alone. Rent that eats half your paycheck. This constant expectation that you'll adult perfectly, even though half the time you're just trying not to drown. Remote work doesn't help either. Your phone buzzes at 9 p.m. and you feel guilty if you don't respond. The responsible one identity you picked up as a kid is now tangled up with modern pressures that would crush anyone. That's why you collapse at the end of every day. Not because work itself is so impossible, but because you're carrying weight that was never yours to begin with, while the world keeps demanding more. So the real question is, how did you end up here? Part 3. How your childhood wired you for this. Most responsible ones started as what psychologists call parentified children. Maybe your home was chaotic and you became the adult. Maybe your parents were struggling and you stepped up. You became the peacekeeper, the problem solver, the one who held everything together. Or maybe you were the easy kid while your siblings acted out. So you got praised for being mature, for not needing much, for having it together. Here's what happens. Your developing brain learns that love equals usefulness, that your value comes from what you provide, not because you exist. Being needed becomes the same as being loved, and that belief becomes your operating system. Part 4. The psychological trap you're stuck in. That belief follows you everywhere, into relationships where you're always the giver, into jobs where you can't say no, into friendships where you're the emotional support. Here's the trap. When being the strong one becomes your identity, you lose permission to be human. Saying no feels like betrayal. Asking for help feels like failure. Having bad days feels selfish. You become hyper-aware of everyone else's problems, but blind to your own exhaustion. The cruelest part, the better you get at this role, the more invisible you become. People stop checking on you because you seem fine. They pile more on because you handle everything so well. Until one day you hit a wall and everyone's shocked. But it gets worse. Part 5. Why your body can't rest. Your body thinks you're in constant danger. When you're always on, ready to solve problems, handle crises, your nervous system never gets the signal to relax. Even on your couch, part of your brain is scanning, listening for your phone, reviewing tomorrow's problems, preparing for the next crisis. That's why Netflix doesn't relax you. That's why you wake up tired after 8 hours of sleep. Over years, this creates chronic stress on your body. Your cortisol stays elevated. Your muscles never fully relax. Those tension headaches, that stomach knot, the bone-deep tiredness, that's your body paying the price for emotional hypervigilance. If you feel tired in a way sleep doesn't fix, this is why. If this hits close to home, you're not alone. Millions carry this invisible weight, thinking something's wrong with them. If you know someone who needs to hear this, share it with them. It might be exactly what they need to understand why they're so drained. And sharing helps me create more content for people struggling quietly. Hit like and subscribe if this resonates. Part 6. The Hidden Energy Thieves. Let me break down how this role steals your energy on easy days. First, mental overhead. Your brain tracks everyone's progress. Did Mike finish that report? Should I check on the client? Will Sarah miss the deadline? At home, grocery lists, appointments, meal planning. If you have kids, multiply by 10. Second, automatic yes syndrome. You say yes before thinking. Yes to extra shifts. Yes to planning parties. Yes to the same relationship problems for the 20th time. Each yes seems small. Stack them up, and they bleed you dry. Third, the worth trap. You believe if I'm not useful, I don't matter. Rest feels selfish. Saying no feels wrong. And there's more. Part 7, the work nobody sees. You're managing everyone's emotions. You're the family diplomat preventing conflicts. The office peacekeeper smoothing tensions. The friend who always knows what to say. You carry everyone's stress like it's your own. This emotional labor takes massive energy but gets zero recognition. Plus, your nervous system constantly scans for problems to solve, people to help, crises to prevent. Result: exhaustion sleep doesn't fix, a brain that won't shut off, and the hollow feeling you're living everyone else's life. But here's the good news. Part 8, how to start setting it down. You can break free without everything falling apart. The solution isn't stop caring, it's learning to care without carrying. Start small. Don't answer work texts at 9 p.m. Say no to one favor this week. Let one ball drop on purpose. Watch how the world doesn't end. Create transition rituals. Tell your family, I need 20 minutes when I get home. Change clothes immediately. Take a walk first. Challenge the usefulness trap. Do something pointless. Take a bath. Watch a silly show. Sit doing nothing. It feels wrong at first. That's withdrawal from tying worth to productivity. Part 9, breaking free from expectations. Say, let me check my schedule instead of automatic yes. This gives you time to consider what you actually want. When family asks for money again, I can't help financially, but I believe you'll figure it out. They're more capable than they pretend. Stop managing other people's emotions. You can listen and care without carrying their weight. Practice tolerating disappointment. When you set boundaries, some people push back. They'll guilt trip you, call you selfish. That uncomfortable feeling when someone's disappointed, that's not evidence you're wrong. That's evidence you're finally doing something right. Closing truth. You're not tired because you're weak. You're tired because you confuse love with carrying everyone else's weight. Real strength isn't never saying no. It's knowing when to say yes and when to step back. Picture this. You finish work normally tired. The kind rest fixes. You come home present, not calculating everyone's needs. You still care deeply, but you choose when and how. The most responsible thing you can do isn't taking care of everyone else first. It's taking care of yourself so you can show up for what matters. You've been everyone's rock, but you need solid ground to stand on too. So what would happen if you put yourself on your own priority list? Not at the bottom, not last, right at the top, where you belong.